Oscar therapy. Let's talk about my experience with Core Energetics. So I tried Core Energetics because after having POTS, getting jugular vein compression, there was just a lot of processing that my body could not handle at the time that the stuff was happening. And so I noticed that in my day-to-day life, I was having very high fear responses to things that really didn't warrant it. I began looking into alternative ways to heal and really about getting me back into my physical body, and I stumbled upon Core Energetics. It was a very different experience than what I assumed it was going to be, and I think that this is important because I assumed that it would be me going in, talking about my feelings, maybe doing energy work, something of that sort, and then having an emotional release. My experience with Core Energetics was much less about the story and much more about the physical releasing of the experience. So my practitioner used a lot of props. There were pillows, there were punching bags, there were boxing gloves, there were a lot of things that she utilized in order to help me express emotion of specific events. We didn't actually spend a lot of time talking about the stories or about the journey that I had had. And at first that was really off-putting for me because I was so ready to share it. But over time I realized that sharing of the stories actually just perpetuated me intellectualizing the experience, not actually feeling it in my body. One of the first things that we worked on is me building an awareness for when I was dissociating. And I was shocked at the night and day difference between when I didn't have any awareness of dissociation and when I had gained it. So we spent a lot of sessions with me sitting there trying to talk about something and then her pausing the session to discuss with me, like, okay, check in on your legs. Can you feel them? Okay, where did you go? Okay, did you notice that your vision is actually not anywhere in this room and that you're actually somewhere else? Bringing me back into that awareness was really important because I began to notice it in my day-to-day outside of session. I became very aware of how quickly I had learned how to dissociate as a protection mechanism. It was something that I needed to do at the time that I was having experiences, but now that I'm not having those anymore, drawing me back into my physical body and really reteaching myself what safety felt like took a lot of effort. The second thing that I had, which I don't necessarily think that everybody will have in Core Energetics, is that I had repressed memories come up, and this was disorienting and painful. It was something that I'm very grateful that I got to experience, especially in that space. But it was definitely shocking to me how quickly repressed memories could come up the moment that your body began to feel safe in alignment with my mind and with my emotions. So when the repressed memories came up, like, I re-experienced the fear, I re-experienced the shame, the confusion, everything. And it did take me a few days after that to kind of bounce back or to like come back into the present. The third thing that I noticed with Core Energetics was that because I was building an awareness of self, I also became very aware of how comfortable I was with closeness. One of the things that I worked on as somebody who has disorganized attachment, one of the things that I worked on with the practitioner was, what does it feel like for somebody to be physically close to me? Someone to sit next to me, someone to hold my hand, someone to be in a close proximity to me when I am feeling vulnerable. So in times where I was processing something, what we would practice is proximity testing. So did I feel safer when she was further away from me? How did my body and my mind react when she would come close? At what point would I dissociate? It was all very interesting and very important information to have because it completely changed the way that I work with vulnerability on a day-to-day basis. It also changes the way that I navigate my signals for safety because for so many years, I was used to just completely overriding them. I was used to ignoring the fact that I did not feel safe in an effort to just get through things and then move on to an outcome. Core Energetics was really a space for me to not jump into those spaces, but instead to say, okay, pause. You don't feel safe. What would it be like if you took the time to ask why? and to not move forward until you've reestablished a connection with your body.